We have an amazing guest with us today, Madisyn Shipman. She's known for playing Kenzie on Nickelodeon's Game Shakers and most recently seen in Fox's Call Me Kat. She's also an amazing musician with her 2 latest singles, I Like Your Dad and Bitch Boy. How are you, Madisyn?
I am absolutely amazing. Happy to be here.
How'd you get into Nickelodeon? Like, how did it end up happening?
So I've been acting since I was 7.
Okay.
Grew up in a small town in North Carolina, like middle of nowhere, one stoplight in our whole town. And I heard a radio ad. I was probably 4 at the time for a Disney commercial. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on TV. I want to do that. Going to pre-K or whatever the babysitting thing was. And there was a kid and I was like, look, I'm going to be on TV. And the kid was like, no, you're not. You're never going to be anything. And I bit him. And I just kept sticking with it of like, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I want to do. And finally my mom was like, okay, fine, we'll try it.
Just gave in.
And that was like 3 years after the fact. And I tried it and immediately started booking and loved it. So she got me an agent in North Carolina in Charlotte. I go out to Charlotte. I booked a Blue Cross and Blue Shield commercial and an episode of One Tree Hill. And then they sent me to an acting convention in Florida. I was so nervous, but so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I still have the videos of like my auditions and whatnot that I was doing. And it's so funny looking back on it because I had like my sponge rolled curls and like itty bitty Maddie. It was so much fun. So I ended up getting signed with an agent and a manager in New York. Went out there for the summer, booked a Broadway show, had to move out there.
Nice.
And then it kind of just spiraled from there. And then about 7 years later, I booked Game Shakers and we had 3 days to move out to California for it.
Do you think you would go back to full-time acting?
I'm still auditioning,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so many different things that I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm doing music, I'm doing acting, and I'm doing Playboy.
Yeah.
I feel like if you are doing something in the entertainment field, there's so many other outlets that you're constantly doing too, because you can be on a show 1 second and then the next second that rug is pulled out from underneath you, so you need to find something else.
Yeah.
And that's just how I use my time and how I find pleasure in every aspect. I just like being on camera and I like
doing the auditions and
doing the
stuff.
auditions
Wow.
and putting my face out there. It's fun. For
Yeah,
me.
it's just who you are.
Yeah.
You've got over 2 million followers on both IG and TikTok. That's a lot of people.
Well,
this is
thank
not
you.
how I talk. Okay, so how does someone build a social media base like this? Is it primarily from your time on TV, or have you worked outside of that to grow your audience?
I would say it's a little of both.
How long was the Game Shakers go
4
for?
years.
4 years.
Oh,
That's
so
a
that's
good
a-
amount of time to be
yeah.
on TV.
Mhm.
Nickelodeon too. Those bitches die hard there.
I gained so many followers so quickly from that. It was wild. Like I already had a good following on Instagram. I would say under 100K, but good for not doing anything. I mean, I was just an 11-year-old little girl living in New York at the time. So it was a good following for me.
Do you always know that you love singing? You were on Broadway now.
Yeah, I was on Broadway.
So
I mean, it was a play. It was not a musical. But I've been doing music since I was 9. I played guitar, and that's kind of how it all started. And then at 9, I recorded a 6-song EP that I wrote about
at 9.
At 9.
Cute.
That's like a
You
Taylor
still-
Swift move.
It was so fun, and it was me talking about my life, like living in New York.
Oh
and
my
coming
God,
home
if we
so
had those
happy.
songs,
Why
can
did-
we get them?
Yeah,
Or are they online?
No, they're not
Oh,
online.
damn.
Nothing is released, but I'll play it for you guys.
Okay,
But like
that's
maybe
so
I'll release it
cute.
later on.
I
You
want
should.
Really sweet, but like
You should on like
I
your
mean-
30th birthday, like put it up as like.
put it up.
What
as,
was like
I
the
remember
most
when I was,
cringy
like-
lyric you ever wrote? Looking back at like 9 years
Good
old and being
question.
like I love my Barbie doll. Like I'm doing your
songs
accent.
were actually really good.
Oh,
like,
come
I'm very proud
on.
of
There
myself
wasn't
for
one
them.
at 9 that you wrote that you're like, wow, I would not say that now.
Like
No,
JoJo
like-
when at 15 she wrote
yeah, get out right
yeah,
now.
like what are you talking about? Get out right now.
And it would go, leave.
Leave.
Why? Like she's in the back and do that. She actually recorded one of my songs once, so we had a big old laugh about that. She has the most amazing voice
Oh, my
ever.
God.
Yes, it never got released, but I have it, and I sing and listen to it because she's just like she can sing like Mariah Carey. Like she has a ridiculous voice. I wonder why she never. Oh, because she chooses bad songs. Sorry if you're listening, Joe. Not my song. My song was great.
I was great. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but
But what was your cringiest?
I don't think there really was.
She
a
loved
cringe
every
one.
single
I love
line.
them.
She's
I listen
so
to them
into
on my
herself.
like free time. I'll have my top down on my Bronco and like be blasting the music,
Cute.
like looking over, like what is that?
That is
Like
so
I'm
cute.
happy.
Well,
All
being
day.
20 has not stopped you from writing songs like I Like Your Dad.
Yes.
That is your new song, I Like Your Dad.
Yes.
It's about hot fathers. Do you secretly have a crush on someone's dad? If so, how old is too old?
Okay, so let me tell like the full story of this. I Like Your Dad was written as a complete joke. Like, no rhyme or reason other than my little brother Jesse, who's 10, is obsessed with Stacy's mom. Like, to the point where he would play that song over and over and over again on a daily basis. And I got so tired of hearing that same song. And don't get me wrong, I love the song, but
it's
after
enough.
you listen to it so many times, I'm like, I cannot listen.
Me too.
And Rachel
I'm singing
Hunter
it right
in the
now
music
in my
video,
head.
she's so cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Like, I'll make a version for Jesse. Oh, wait, there's not a girl version. I'll make a girl version, and this will just be for like my family and my close friends. Not going to release it. Go into the session, I make it, and I'm like, oh, actually, this is really fun. Like, maybe I'll put it out. Didn't think anything else about it. And then I started talking to this guy. I don't know if we were dating or we were talking, but there was a guy that was in my life. He's got a really hot dad. His dad's definitely a sex symbol in Hollywood and
How
everything.
old?
Who is it?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking.
He's hot.
He's hot.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
he is hot.
I'll fill you in. The guy's brother swore up and down that it was about the dad. And I'm like, no, it was not about your dad. Like, this was written way before I even
and the
met
dad was
you.
probably
Are you guys
hell
still friends
yeah, it
now, or did this
was.
ruin your relationship?
I don't know if that had a factor in it, but
Really?
I had tickets to go see Taylor Swift. I was going to go with this guy, and then a lot of crap happened whenever I joined Playboy. Like, he was not
Oh, you know what? I
supportive.
went out to dinner with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just jealous and didn't want her to succeed.
It was just, it was an odd situation. And I know for me, I'm so comfortable in myself. And I know that if I'm happy with something, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm fully committing to whatever I want for
Yeah.
my future. I want to leave a legacy. And for me to do that, I have to fully believe in
Yes.
myself. And I want to be comfortable in whatever I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, look, I'm doing this. And if you don't agree with it, I get it. I
Then
understand
leave.
that you have different goals and priorities and morals. But for me, I am okay with this. And this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it just did not go over well at all. The dad was very supportive.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But everyone
sure
else
he
in the
was.
family
Oh
was
yeah,
not.
right. He's subscriber number one.
They actually did subscribe.
Bitch Boy is actually based on a real guy you dated.
Yes.
Oh, is this the guy we were just talking
No,
about?
Dear
Oh,
God.
okay.
This was high school boyfriend.
Okay, how do you look out for a bitch boy, or how can you call out a bitch boy before he comes along? How do you know who it is?
If they start trying to like degrade you, control you. And for me, he was constantly trying to isolate me from my friends and loved ones. He said that my relationship with my mom was weird because we were so
No
close
way.
and I tell her everything.
What is weird about that? you
I wasn't
fucking
allowed to
sicko?
have any guy friends because he thought I would cheat. And there were just so many things that I do on a daily basis that he was just not happy with. He wasn't happy with the way that I dress. He wasn't happy with the way that
This
I'm
happens
an
a lot.
actress. And
Like guys, they get with girls that are too good for them, and they know it like subconsciously, so they have to bring them down because they're like, oh, if they realize how good they are, they're not going to be with me.
I
Why
think
do
also
you-
it's all in the way that they were raised. I feel like
If they're not close
this
with their
guy,
mom,
he was
they tend to.
16. There's no reason that he should have been acting like that unless he was seeing it at home.
Yes.
That's
Secure
just-
guys are going to want a girl that looks amazing, that they're like, wow, I'm batting way out of my average for this girl. She's way too good for me, and I love it, and I want other guys to look at her, and I want her to be fabulous, and how lucky am I to have her, and I'm not good enough for her. Like, that should be the goal.
How do you like decide what you're gonna write about, or do you just wake up in the middle of the night?
I
and
write from
you-
personal experience.
personal
So
experience.
every song is written from some aspect
Yeah.
or experience that I've had throughout my life. And this album is going to go through the stages of grief, but in the form of a breakup.
So it's
So,
like therapeutic for you.
It's therapeutic. I mean, this
Like
is my
somehow-
therapy.
yeah.
I can't do therapy in like a therapist
a-
way.
yeah.
I can't do it.
That's good.
I've
That's
tried,
that you know
just
that.
does not work for me. So for me, this music and me going in for my writing sessions is how I process and deal with all of the trauma and how I process it. I think that's the best way to put it. So there's songs on this album that are sad, from like whenever you just go through a breakup, to the manic rage side, because we all have it. I mean, I've got crazy Maddie inside of me. She doesn't come out
I'm
often, but
sure.
she's there.
I could see it in your eyes. I could see it a little
I'm a
bit.
Scorpio though, so I mean, it kind of makes
remember
sense.
that. I remember that because I remember you being a Scorpio. They sting. They sting
This
first.
has been so fun. I feel like we
I
have the
love
best
this.
vibes together.
This is so fun.
Yay! Thank you so much for
Of
joining
course,
us.
thank you for having me.
Is there anything you want to plug before we say goodbye to everyone?
New music coming out. There's going to be 21 songs on the album in honor of my 21st birthday.
Cute.
Which is crazy,
That's
but
really cute.
I mean, that's how I wanted to do it. Go big or go home.
Thanks.
Fun. Bye, guys.
Bye.